News 2 at 6 o'clock, a dubious record shattered in Baton Rouge.
The city has seen 34 homicides in just the first 3 months of this year, shattering the record of 27 homicides in the first quarter of 2021. Best Casualty of the investigative unit here with a deep dive into the numbers and what they mean.
Well, Michael, Sylvia, if things continue at this pace, we're well on our way to break the homicide record. But city officials say they are trying everything they can to prevent that. According to BRPD's database, the first 3 months of 2024 have been the deadliest in Baton Rouge in 25 years. 32 homicides since January 1st surpasses the first quarter of 2021, otherwise known as the year with the most homicides on record. This time last year, that number was less than half of what it is now. And since midnight, the end of the first quarter, there have already been 2 additional homicides. City leaders acutely aware of the problem, giving a press conference about it just last week.
I want the public to know that what we've been experiencing in regards to shootings in our city have mostly been very personal, highly targeted incidents.
Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome in lockstep with Chief Morse.
Judges have to hold individuals accountable.
Attributing the issue to a nationwide increase in gun violence.
And let's not forget, we've been here before. And just as we have done before, we will drive down the crime statistics once again.
The response, approving $35,000 a week in overtime for officers to do proactive patrols, going to neighborhoods that are experiencing high levels of gun violence, hoping to prevent shootings before they happen.
We deploy people or resources over to that area, and then their presence and or enforcement action actually quietens that area down.
We went to one of those areas Monday. The North Sherwood Forest area has had 5 fatal shootings in as many weeks, the most recent on Easter Sunday morning. We did see at least 2 BRPD units patrolling.
Use your hands. Use your fists.
This 18-year-old, who only wanted to be known as Dante,
Like, if you don't like me, you still gonna see me, so.
has lived in Baton Rouge his whole life. Currently, he lives in this area. He says he's become accustomed to the violence.
It's Baton Rouge, like, man, it's the usual. You know, like, ain't nothing really, I was born, and that's, you know, it's the same, it's constant, it ain't really nothing different, it's not really.
This year, I got serious about my taxes. I met with the TurboTax expert because I had 2 full-time jobs, lawyering and lambing, all on my own.
Really something you should be afraid of, it's something you need to be prepared for, because if you was born and raised in Baton Rouge, you gonna go through that.
Family. Baton Rouge ain't never been a stranger to violence. Don't ever get that twisted. It's the hood. And wherever the hood is, across the world, expect there to be violence. A lot of it. Black on black and everything else in between. But see, a lot of this violence stems from places that the youth don't even really know. Most of the time, it started way back in the 70s and 80s. Somebody messed with somebody else's broad, or a nigga y'all don't know was hustling on your block, so y'all decided to get at him. He decided to come back. It turned violent. You feel me? Little shit like that. That stems generational beef, and it gets passed down through the youth. You feel me? To the youth, through the youth, to the next generation. And it just keeps on going. Even when we're talking about the situations in this era, they typically start behind a broad. Ego, pride, money, something like that. Little shit. Little shit that you can always get back in the grand scheme of things, but when you adolescent minded, you don't think like that. You think like, I ain't finna let no nigga disrespect me, because if I allow this dude to disrespect me, then everybody gonna think they can do it. When in reality, it don't even be that way. It just be our ego, that pride, completely taking control. And that is the biggest killer of men. Truly. It will destroy any man. The strongest, toughest, hardest nigga. Pride will destroy you. But Baton Rouge has hit a new all-time low. I'm gonna call it a high, because it's not a high. It's a low. As y'all heard from the beginning, the homicide rate is through the roof. And this reminds me of something that happened in California about 7 years ago. Was it 7? Don't really matter. It was called 100 Days and 100 Nights. 100 Days and 100 Nights is just straight pure violence. And I'm gonna show y'all why. This shit that Baton Rouge is going through right now is Chicago-esque. And in this current moment in time, Baton Rouge is the most dangerous city in the world. It is the most dangerous place to live. And I'm gonna show y'all why. Open your ears and pay attention, family. Like I said, Baton Rouge is going through their equivalent of the 100 Days and 100 Nights of violence. Homicide violence, though, not just any type of violence. And this thing started with a lot of different situations that was going on, but most notably, Evil Side Kitty, and of course, Harley Quinn. Those are the two biggest situations in 2024 that really kind of ignited everything. But this has been brewing for a while. We've been seeing them back to back to back to back on every side. But it's starting to heat up and expand out to anybody who can get it. If you outside, you better watch your top, because somebody trying to take it off just for a trophy. Everybody's a trophy. But then you get the situation where somebody vandalized G Money's gravesite. And I promise you, that set things on fire. Everybody from every side, every camp, 4K Trade, TBG, Bleeda'S, Vultures, Boosie, don't matter where you from, every hood was crying. These situations been going on for some time though. So I'm gonna give y'all a quick rundown up until the bloodiest day of them all.
More information about the victim who was killed in a domestic shooting early Wednesday morning. We first broke that story to you about 24 hours ago now. BRPD says 29-year-old Destiny Buckley died at the scene. 2 other people were taken to the hospital. Police did not say what led up to the shooting, but they did confirm it was a domestic incident. If you have any information on either of these cases, go ahead and call Crime Stoppers at 344-STOP.
On the first day of March, a teen was shot in the lower torso and also in the hand. Luckily, the young man's injuries were not fatal, but he still had to receive medical attention, and this was the very first shooting to kick off the month. On the second day of the month, March 2nd, a young man was killed at Eric's grocery store on North Street around 4:52 p.m. Friday afternoon. On March 4th, around 1 in the morning, in the 2200 block of Scenic Gardens, 3 people.
You gotta be careful of who you trust in this world, especially the motherfuckers you don't know. These
people were shot, 2 of which were juveniles. They had non-life-threatening injuries, but unfortunately for Kevon London, 18 years old, his life would be taken and cut short. On March 7, approximately right before 8 p.m. in the Sherwood Acres apartments off of Kersey Boulevard, a BRPD sheriff would be flagged down and notified that a man was found dead from a gunshot wound. This man would later be identified as the homeboy and friend of Boosie, as Boosie took to his Instagram and said TIP Sneed with the prayer hands and track life forever. On March 12th, around 9:15 a.m., a man would be shot at Brightside Manor on Brightside Drive near Nicholson Drive. Now, the man's name was never made public, but it seemed as though he might have survived from his gunshot wounds. Another situation would happen near Nicholson Drive when Jeffrey Dotreve, 22, was killed at approximately 3:07 p.m. The shooting happened at Save More Market parking lot at 2956 Nicholson Drive, according to PD. Dotreve was transported to a local hospital where he would succumb to his injuries, police said. Now, when it comes to Jeffrey, he would later be identified as a friend and affiliate of the BBGs, as BBGD decided to share a photo of Jeffrey and let it be known that he was one of his fallen homeboys. On March 18th, police identified a 61-year-old man killed on South 18th Street.
Details this morning actually from the Baton Rouge Police Department. They are identifying now 61-year-old Dwayne Fleming as the man shot to death yesterday afternoon. Emergency responders actually called out to South 18th Street right around 3 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. Told Fleming died before they could actually get him to the hospital. Homicide detectives still working to figure out what led up to the shooting. In the meantime, call Crime Stoppers if you think you have any details that can help them out. It's 344-STOP.
On March 26th, a situation would occur that would destroy the entire city of Baton Rouge and anyone else who heard it. This situation was truly ruthless and uncalled for, as a 1-year-old girl would be shot while being held by her father, whose life was taken. 23-year-old Jashawn Neal was shot and killed while holding his child by, get this, a 17-year-old male. That 17-year-old male would be later caught and held in the parish jail on first-degree murder, of course. But this man was shot while outside holding his 1-year-old daughter. What is this world coming to? Family, that's not even a quarter of all of the shootings that have transpired in that time frame. But if we did them all, we would be here too long. Now, here's where we get into the deadliest, craziest portion of this entire ordeal. In one weekend, Baton Rouge was flipped on its head. On Friday, March 29th, a 20-year-old man was found dead of multiple gunshot wounds early that morning in a vehicle alongside Interstate 10 East in Prairieville, the Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office said. State police found the victim, identified as Charcarius Hamilton Jr. of Ascension Parish, about 3:30 a.m. and notified the sheriff's office, which is investigating the case. No further details were immediately available. The man was found dead in a car. Later on that day, we get the news of real Bleeda and co-Bleeda being caught at a Walmart gas station at around 2 p.m., where both of them received multiple gunshot wounds and were rushed to the hospital. Neither one would succumb to their injuries. The injuries were non-life-threatening. Both seemed to be fine, as Cold Bleeda is back posting on Instagram. Real Bleeda has yet to come out and speak, but just due to the fact that in the videos we seen of the situation, Real Bleeda was the one up walking around talking, so he seemed to be okay on scene, and I'm sure he's still okay, just has not decided to pop back out on social media and give that confirmation as of yet. This one wasn't a situation where someone got shot, but it was crazy to me that this happened around the time frame where all of these homicides were consistently occurring. It wasn't a shooting homicide, but it was most certainly a death, as one person dies, another in critical condition, in an early morning St. Amant house fire, officials say. This was on March 30th. This was early in the morning, and it's just crazy how this occurred. We didn't get really very many details as far as what happened with this situation, so just included this one as a question mark. On Sunday,
Bring on the frozen tundra, the grinding gravel, the cratered concrete.
March 30th, Baton Rouge Police Department identified a man who was killed on K Avenue. Edward Brooks, 35, was shot shortly before 11:20 a.m. Sunday in the 2400 block of K Avenue, police said. Brooks was taken to a hospital where he later died of his injuries.
Detectives are also investigating a separate shooting, leaving one person dead. This one happened around 11:15 Sunday morning in the Windsor Place subdivision on Kate Avenue, just off of Florida Boulevard. Officers tell us the victim is 35-year-old Edward Brooks. He was rushed from the scene to a local hospital where he eventually died. BRPD says there is no known motive or suspect linked to this shooting just yet. They're urging anyone with information about either of these shootings to call Crime Stoppers at 344-STOP.
Police are investigating the shooting death of a 26-year-old man Timotheus Bowie Jr., which happened off a scenic highway just after midnight. The Baton Rouge Police Department was called to the 2300 block of the highway near Choctaw Drive and found Bowie. He had been taken to the hospital in a privately owned vehicle. He died from his injuries once there. There was no information on any possible suspects or motives. And this is actually Bop. Y'all know exactly who Bop is. For all the ones who've been on the platform for a while, we used to discuss him a lot. Thug Life 3 times. Fredo Bang partner. He is a TBG affiliate. He is locked in with them. And as y'all know, TBG, they react to all this. And I'm going to show y'all those reactions here in a second, man. We'll get into that in the next part. But I just want to say, I done had conversations with Bop. Bop cool. And for to see him go like this, man, this is just flat out fucked up. Let's just keep it G, man.
With details just into our newsroom about the last few hours, we have learned in that 26-year-old Timotheus Bowie Jr. was the person killed in a shooting on Scenic Highway. Officers responded just after midnight and learned that someone brought Bowie to the hospital and he later died from his injuries. Right now, there are no motives or potential suspects in this case.
In this next one, we get confirmation coming by way of BBGD. I searched all over for the news report and I could not find it. But BBGD did confirm that Jonah B., yes, Jonah B., the same one we've been talking about, Main Music's protege, BBGD's cousin, his close cousin, one that we talk about heavily here on the platform, rock with PY, rock with Rico Taliban, was with their sister. He has been shot and killed. Now, I don't know Jonah B's real name. I did at one point, can't remember it. But there was a man who seemed like that could be Jonah B in this next situation. It's crazy that Jonah B literally just got out and is now no longer here. But Jonah B was shot and killed hours after Bop. Pay attention to the timeline. March 29th, and now we are all the way up until April 1st. These deaths are happening back to back to back, every other hour. Now, family, here's where it gets sticky. What I was saying when I said, I believe Jonah B might be in this situation because it happened hours after what happened with Bop. So it correlates. As we get news about the Bug, the same one who shot and killed True Bleeda and Clifton Lindsay. And y'all know that's alleged and according to law enforcement. But Demetri Grimm, 23, was shot to death on the 68th Avenue of Cambridge Street just before 2 a.m. on April 1st, 2024. Grimm had been the focus of multiple WBRZ reports, starting with the arrest in 2022 of a double murder. On February 25th, 2022, 19-year-old Clifton Lindsay and 18-year-old Dante Dorsey were gunned down in a car at the corner of Blue Bonnet Boulevard and Picardy Avenue, just outside the Mall of Louisiana. Dorsey was a local rapper known as True Bleeda. BRPD said 2 other people were in the car. They were hit, but survived. Nearly 2 months later, BRPD arrested Grimm on 2 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder, and illegal use of a weapon. Sources told WBRZ that Grimm was a member of the Bankstown Mafia. Police said at the time of his arrest, Grimm was in East Baton Rouge Parish Prison for unrelated charges. A grand jury examined the case and passed on indicting Grimm. He was released in August of 2022, but District Attorney Hillary Moore told WBRZ an office planned to review the case and possibly pursue charges again. After the shooting, BRPD said the double murder was likely retaliatory from different shootings, but did not disclose specifics. We know the situations that may have occurred most recently in the past, and that they may be retaliating against those other individuals who were involved in a particular incident, Sergeant L. Gene McKinney said. That was the updated report I read y'all first. that tied him into True Bleeda'S and Clifton Lindsay, but here's the original. 2 people were killed and another was hurt in a shooting early Monday morning. The Baton Rouge Police Department said 21-year-old Jonathan Williams and 23-year-old Demetrian Grimm were shot to death on the 68th Avenue near Cambridge Street just before 2 a.m. A 16-year-old female was shot and taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. So, 3 people were shot in this incident. An innocent bystander, the 16-year-old girl who survived, and the other 2 men, Jonathan, and of course, that man, Demetrian Grimm. I'm wondering who Jonathan Williams is, because that would be around the age that Jonah B would be. Jonah B would be somewhere around 21, 22, maybe 23. And the fact that the man's name is Jonathan, that's the only person I could find who lost their life in the last 24 hours that has a close name to Jonah B's. Now, I don't know if that's him specifically, but I mean, it makes sense. I can't even lie to y'all.
In the last hour, we've learned the identity of 2 people shot and killed on 68th Avenue this morning. According to police, 21-year-old Jonathan William and 23-year-old Demetrian Grimm were shot around 1:45 this morning. A 16-year-old girl was also shot, but she is going to recover from those injuries. Right now, Baton Rouge police have not announced any suspects in this one.
1 hour after that shooting, another shooting occurred. 2 people were taken to a local hospital in stable condition after a shooting in the 1800 block of 73rd Avenue. According to emergency medical service officials, they said a call came in around 3:45 a.m. on Monday, April 1st. Members of the Baton Rouge Police Department were observed at the scene, along with crime scene tape, shell casing, and crime scene markers. BRPD said they do not have any motive or suspect in connection with this shooting. So, as y'all see, the BOP shooting, it initially happened at 12:45. The shooting with Jonah B and Demetrius Grimm happened around 2 o'clock. This one happened around 3:45. So these incidents are occurring back to back to back, and they are happening to every camp, not just one specific side. Everybody getting it. From Boosie to YB's camp, to Fredo's camp, to the Bleeda'S, the Vultures with V in them. And speaking of the Vultures with V, he just came off of some great news with NBA Youngboy when they announced the fact that they are doing a feature together.
Oh, I said, you know, we get money, yeah, a lot of money, yeah. You know the bosses love bread, you drop them gunny, yeah. Nigga, no street cred.
But I'm sure by now y'all already know how this goes.
Looks like you won something there.
I ditched my text guy and switched to H&R Block. Their experts can do your time.
That good moment of them locking in wasn't gonna come without his fair share of criticism, as Youngboy Jermaine had this to say about their duo.
Don't see this nigga, him boy, that pussy ass dick ride. We'll pick up the bitch ass nigga. Can't wait till you get out house arrest police ass nigga. Don't see this nigga, him boy, that pussy ass dick ride.
Then Jermaine said, niggas click up with God, I'ma smoke them with Satan. Yeah, you went too far with that one. I can't even lie. You know, it ain't that serious, brother. I ain't gonna lie to you on the cool. And 187 Derek decided to pop out for the 4K trays and say this in Youngboy Jermaine's comment section. Don't cry, you gonna get caught too. On the gas with that man. And this ain't the only situation that 187 Derek is tied into, because 187 Derek has also inserted himself into a situation that happened between NBA Lil Dump and P. Youngin. Now, I know y'all thinking, why would he be tied into that? Well, these latest comments that he put on Instagram after the passing of Jonah B, and of course, this is all alleged. Once again, he's just trolling. It's all on wax. It's just trolling. That's it. I'm not saying he did anything at all. Don't get that twisted. But he decided to take to his Instagram and say this: it's a one-way ticket. Fuck COS. Everybody come around you, got a death date, and y'all ain't the ones in that car about nothing. Nigga touched my little brother and they felt that fire. Don't approach me. Then he goes on to show him and NBA Chopper Boy on live. As he said, my slime, Chopper Boy took a FaceTime photo. He on the gas, man, as y'all see. And in my personal opinion, and this alleged once again, I believe that man YB went ahead and gave that green light. He already said it way a while back. This is just officially him saying it's green lighted on everything that's hanging around with that COS movement. I'm just saying. And by green lighted, I don't mean kill anybody or step on anybody. I mean, they not fucking with them at all. That's what that mean. Go ahead and troll them. Troll anything that happened to them. That's all 187 Derek is doing right here. It's just trolling. He's not stating that he had anything to do with the death of Jonah B. But I will say this, with him trolling Jonah B being BBGD's right-hand mans and Jonah B being his cousin, that kind of put BBGD in a sticky situation, you know what I'm saying? BBGD trying to step back and fall away from all of this, man. But to see your cousin being trolled online, I know they got to get to you, and they got to put him in a real fucked up position. Because both sides, he got love for. Crazy, right? But that ain't it, though. A lot more people decided to troll. And of course, one of which that was major in that was that man, Youngboy Jermaine, as y'all have already seen.
I put it on my mama, nigga. Next nigga show up. Ain't nobody gonna fuck with nothing scary. Fuck that nigga scary. My partner be scared. All I feel is shit, nigga.
Then he shares a picture that says, "We shut shit down." That has real Bleeda and that man Cold Bleeda in it. Then that man TMH 32 shots, he trolls as well, as he first trolls Big Toe by putting up a grave with a toe out and him laying on top of it. And then he goes on to say this.
Tell a nigga suck my big toe dick.
Then he carries on, "I'm logging off for the day. Here y'all go. OMD. Hashtag stop the violence, bitch ass niggas," with the laughing emoji. Flip side under his pic said, "Pick 'em up. Hashtag free fat boy." BBG Rule says, "Ain't shit to talk about." Then he said, "I think it's time to get back in that yo. Got buku shit to talk about," with the demon emoji. Then he puts up the demon emojis and said, "The city hot," with the fire emojis. Then TG Commas reacts and says, "That type of shit," talking about everything that's going on. China Black hops on there on his Instagram and he says this, "I saw so many people cry today. I saw so many people hollering. I'm just lost of words right now. The whole city crying right now. My feelings so hurt. What a holiday." Man, that man is wilding. But of course, there was another person who passed, and it was
when Doug and Andre came to TurboTax.
We navigated a turbulent.
It's JJ. And of course, his people react by saying, "I bet they say you took something with you. I love you, 5. Get your rest. I'm finna show them BXs," with the broken heart. Y'all see just a bunch of reactions to his passing. Of course, he was a 4K trade member under the Sheep Foundation and whatnot. And that's a person that we didn't put into the actual clips because I didn't know if he was Jonathan Williams or if it was Jonah B. So I just wanted to wait until now to speak about him. So like I said, that's another one. But since I showed y'all the reaction to his passing, I'm gonna show y'all the reaction to the rest. These are Bop's reactions. And of course, Fredo Bang reacted. Y'all know that man Osama reacted. A lot more of his camp reacted to it. And y'all can just see him going across the screen as I just speak on it real briefly because these next two I done had conversations with. So, you know, it's a bit personal for me. You feel me? When it come to Bop, like I said, man, cool dude, man. We done had conversations, you know, one of them people that's straight to the point, ain't gonna keep it thorough. He gonna keep it about what it is. Whatever he trying to get across, he gonna get across. And I respect that about him. Man, I can't believe the man is gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it's just crazy how Bop is so beloved by everybody. And then, you always got that one little small group of people who dislike you and want to take you out really for no reason, man. Just because, bro. Just because they know that your passing is going to hurt somebody and to make them feel like they got some stripes and a body under their belt. Crazy, right? Man, that don't make no sense, bro. Y'all got to get y'all shit together, bro. This is ridiculous. Come on, BR. Niggas got to do better than this, man. Too many people, bro. Like, come on, bro. Then you got Jonah B. Of course, y'all know I done had conversations with Jonah B as well. You know what I'm saying? And Jonah B, another thorough one. Another one that ain't gonna sugarcoat shit. He gonna keep it real with you. You know what I'm saying? About how you feel. We done had disagreements. He done heard me say things on here that he didn't like and hit me up about it. And we chopped it up about it on the cool. Came to an understanding like men. Now the first time, I ain't gonna lie, he came sideways. So I had to let him know, like, look, I ain't that type of dude. Yeah, I do this YouTube stuff, but one thing I'm not is a bitch. And once we came to that understanding, it was an understanding. And from then and there on, it was always a mutual respect between me and Jonah B. So it's one of those things, man, where it's like seeing this youngin' passed away when he had so much potential to be somebody. And I told y'all time and time again, Jonah B had talent, but his focus needed to be more on the music and not so much as on the street shit, you feel me? Because that street shit ain't gonna get you nowhere. But now he gone, and may he rest in peace, you feel me? And then you got the Bug. Now when it comes to youngin' right there, man, I don't know much about him at all outside of the fact that he took a young legend, was accused of taking a young legend off this planet, and Cliff. I don't know much about him, but may he rest in peace as well. Then we go back to Fredo Bang. Now, Fredo Bang put out a very last message on this situation. As he says, I can't even lie, I'm hot on a whole nother level over what happened with Bob. Fredo hot, and this can't be good for what is to transpire going forward, allegedly. But of course, that man, YNCYBZ, he says, pray for my city, leave it in God's hands. And I agree with that man on this one. Fredo, leave it in God's hands. YB. And to everybody else, leave it in God's hands. Let go and let God. All y'all need to take some pointers from BBGD. Ain't nothing wrong with going to the Most High. You feel me? Ain't nothing wrong with turning the other cheek. Focusing on your bread. Trying to build up your community. Get it together, fellas. We ain't got much more time left. Use your time wisely. But like I told y'all in the beginning, I believe Baton Rouge is having 100 days, 100 nights right now. But only times 100. Man, it's ugly. And honestly, I don't see it getting any worse. But that last day was most definitely the bloodiest. Multiple deaths within a 24-hour span. Hours of each other, back to back. You hit, we hit. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about this, man. Pray for the city of Baton Rouge. And all praise be to the Most High. Peace and blessings.